Hey mamas, welcome to Mom Over Matters. I'm your host, Faisa Ali, and today we're diving into all things natural skincare, hair care, and why sometimes the simplest remedies are the best kept secrets. Spoiler alert, your new go-to products are probably sitting in your cabinet right now, or they will soon be thanks to Naprim Naturals. As I was prepping for today's episode while trying to deal this crazy toddler dumping powder everywhere, which got me thinking, why not bring somebody who knows how to make natural powders life changing instead of it being messy? So let's get right into it. I'm thrilled to have Stefanie with us today. Stefanie is the founder of Naprim Naturals, a brand rooted in plant-based talc-free skincare, which is really big because I try to find talc-free everything for my powders, for makeup and everything like that. But more than that, she's a fellow mom and a stylist, and she knows exactly what we go through as mothers. So Stefanie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Amazing. So let's start from the beginning. You've been in the beauty industry for 20 years now. So what inspired you to create Naprim Naturals?
So I've been in the beauty industry for a really long time, doing female haircuts, men haircuts, even kids. So a little bit of everything. And one day I was working on a client with short hair. She happened to be a female. And I went to clean off the back of her neck. I was using a razor and edger. She had a like a short pixie haircut. And I was like, we don't have a powder to put on the back of her neck. Now, what we do have and had for over 100 years, every barber and stylist was using was Clubmen talc powder. They had
Mm,
talc specifically like in their name. And it was
okay.
scented for men. It was like this old man lemony scent. A lot of guys could reference it being in the barber shop, So I didn't want to put it on the back of her neck and have her smell like that. I'm like, why don't we have something that's natural? Why don't we have something that's scented for women or just like a universal, right? And so I also have clients with all different skin tones, different skin types. So something that was for sensitive skin, but blending into all skin tones because the powder that we had was like a heavy, white, thick starch that would leave a residue on their skin and then get all over their clothes. The traditional powder bottles, you just shake it, it goes everywhere. You couldn't control it. So I started researching, long story short, I started networking with other stylists in the salon and people and came up with our dusting powder, which is our first product. Comes from feeling naturally prim, ready to go. Cause like after you get your hair cut in the salon, you want to feel good and you're coming in the middle of the workday or you're running to your sporting events, you name it. You want to feel like prepped and ready to go. So you can pump it directly on the back of the neck. It's all natural, talc-free, plant-based ingredients. It is unscented, so you can use it for men, women, and kids. It's amazing, and it lasts a really long time because it's a powder. So the shelf life is longer. It doesn't have any water diluting it down, so it's highly effective when you use it on the skin. So if somebody was itchy and squirming like kids when they get their hair cut, you would pump it on before, we would cut their hair after, pump it on again. It has non-zinc oxide in it as well, so it offers some sun protection, which is super important when we're shaving the back of your neck and setting you outside. So that is how dusting powder and the first product of Naprim came to be.
So, Stephanie, I want to, for those who are watching this, and please watch us and go on our YouTube. But one thing that I did just live while you were speaking is to see if this was brown and black skin like approved, essentially.
Yeah.
One of the our biggest barriers as women of color is to find things that work with our skin tone or just like melt within our skin tone. So sunscreen just like is the worst to
Yep.
find something that doesn't have a white cast. So one of the things that I just noticed off the bat was that it just completely melted into my skin and it's not detectable, which is
Mhm.
which is amazing. I just wanted to like commend you on that because even the big brands get this wrong.
I know.
So
I couldn't believe it.
amazing.
I couldn't believe. I was like, it should be translucent so everybody could use it. And
Yeah.
it should be unscented. We
Mm.
shouldn't be competing with perfumes or colognes when we're putting it in this area, let alone on kids who are more sensitive into their skin.
Yeah. And I mean, now all moms are everywhere thankful. So, I want to talk about the core of your products, which are talc free and they're plant based. Like,
Yeah.
just going through the ingredients, I see arrowroot, which is, I use it for a thickener sometimes for like cooking. Zinc oxide, which is I'm guessing it's like something dealing with sunscreen. I'm gonna butcher this. Calendula flour
Calendula.
powder.
Yeah.
Calendula. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Rose clay and cacao, which amazing. That probably why it's working for all skin types. So I feel like it's edible. Oh, well, it's not edible, but it's very like the fact that I'm not reading benzonites and all these like random like things that I just don't understand. I love that your ingredient list is so short and so effective. So yeah, I wanted to see like yes, you did say what was the history about how you got it, but like how did you incorporate that into your whole line of products?
So the salon that I had worked at for a really long time, we used all natural plant-based ingredients. So we were very derived, and all of my education and training was in products that came from plants and how effective they are. And so when I was designing this, I was like, okay, well, this has to be all natural. And what plants would alleviate redness, inflammation, irritation? Would they stop bleeding, nicks, cuts, scrapes? What's something natural that could be flesh tone to blend into all skin types? And we approach at Naprim a less is more when it comes to our ingredients. Less ingredients, more effectiveness. So I want you to be able to turn over every bottle, every container, every product that we have, and not only be able to pronounce, but like recognize these staples of these ingredients. And it's like nothing new. They've been doing this for centuries, but we're just bringing powders in a different light because everybody uses lotions and creams and ointments and sticky stuff and greasy stuff. And powders are actually really soothing and calming. Like you said, it melted into your skin. So when we're using it on kids and babies and ourselves, we want the same thing. Like it's all about the self care. It's all about the experience. And so when you get your haircut, prime example, from start to
Mhm.
finish is about the experience. So when creating the finishing touch, it needed to be soothing and calming, not going to burn. It's not going to be sticky. It's not going to
No.
leave a residue, like all the things that the big companies don't think about. And smaller brands, I think, just pay way more attention to what their customers are wanting and saying versus just filling their pockets with profits and spitting out product after product after product after product.
That doesn't have a soul. Like
Yeah.
the fact that you said that this is something that was like that you had every woman in mind. It is such a like a telling like it's a telling story. It's a telling like part of you of why like we feel like we're getting to know you while getting this product because it
Yeah.
is something that I feel like yeah, like it has your story in it. Like I have this on my shelf and I know that Stephanie created it with integrity, with a soul. Like I keep repeating that just because it's like I feel like some of these brands, they once they get big, the soul leaves the product and it's just like, okay, why am I using this? It's not doing anything but like actually giving me more chemicals and I'm like, so it is a huge issue.
Yeah.
Uh, Stephanie, we're going to just like switch gears a little bit. So we're going to have a little fun and we're going to play a game called Truth or Mom Myths. And I'll say a statement about parenting, natural care, and self-care. And I know I didn't prep you for this, but it's for your natural reactions. I really want to get what you think. So moms listening, you can play along and see how many you get right. The first one is natural products don't work as fast as regular skincare products. Truth or myth?
Myth.
Okay. I mean, some people think that natural products take longer to show results. Like, what do you say about that?
They do. They actually have a lot of hesitation around natural products because we're so fed in the media with the doctors, with our dermatologists, with our pediatricians, pushing these big retailers, okay, these big companies
Mhm.
and these quick, fast, results over getting to the root cause. And natural ingredients and natural products get to the root cause of the problem. The other ones are superficial solutions, meaning like it's a band-aid over your symptom.
For sure. For sure.
And so they use it and they're like, okay, it worked for a day, but then it didn't. Or I've used this before and now it's not working or it's not effective. And they wonder why. And it really is, I think natural in a powdered form specifically is a highly concentrated formula versus other products that have water in it to dilute it down. Therefore, the powder in a plant form are just much more effective.
For sure. I love that. Go ahead.
Yeah. And not a lot of people know about that.
Mm-hmm.
And that is like what we're here to do,
I know. So here's another one. Dry shampoo should only be used for emergencies.
The number one thing I say to my clients is to put it on clean hair. And let me tell you why. Especially if you have fine hair or hair that tends to get oily throughout the day or the next day when you wake up. If you put the dry shampoo on, massage it into your hair, it will actually prevent those oils. Or if you put it on right before you go to bed and then you wake up, it gives you that next day bedhead refreshed look. Amazing, especially a powder. Now, an aerosol is going to leave a heavy residue, so it's not going to be as lightweight, and it almost forces you to have to wash your hair again, which is like defeating the whole purpose of using dry shampoo.
Amazing. Another round. Natural baby powders are only for babies. So, for example, what you have is this dusting body powder. A lot of people think, oh, I can't get, powders are only for babies. Like, that's the only thing why should I use a powder on my skin?
Yes. So you should use a powder on your skin if you experience any kind of chafing in your bra area, if you experience any chafing in between your legs, if you are walking or working out, if you have odors in your shoes, or you want to use a natural deodorant, powders are great for that. They absorb the moisture, they eliminate the odors. And again, it goes back to just soothing and calming the skin. And our specific ingredients help with that irritation and those odors. So powders are great. And the fact that you can use these products for yourself and then for your babies is like a win-win as a busy mom.
I know, because I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes I always think about it. I'm like, is it a marketing ploy that things are like different, like shampoos and creams and things like that? I'm like, they want us to buy two things. Like, I would love, like, I whip my shea butter at home so like the whole family can use it. And it makes me like think about when I'm at like the aisle at Target and I just see like a cream for babies and then a cream for yourself and then the cream for men. And I'm just like, okay, look, well, can I just have something that everyone can use? Because it takes longer to find, oh, I need the one that, the cream that my husband has versus the cream that my baby has. It's just too many creams. So, yeah.
Yeah. And that like goes back to their profits over.
Yeah.
Purpose. Like,
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So, yeah, we have a last one. Okay. Moms have time for long, luxurious self-care routines.
I mean, if we get up at 4.
Sure. I really miss my long 10-step Korean routine, Korean skincare routine that I used to have before I had kids. I had all the time in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, what's your routine like?
Gosh, it has ebbed and flowed. I will say that. Before kids, then when my kids were babies, and now I have a little bit more time back. So my morning routine starts with gratitude. I start my day with gratitude immediately. I go wake up my kids and I say like out loud, like, I'm so grateful for you. I'm thankful for you. I'm blessed. Keep you safe. Then I start with water, and then I start with my coffee with collagen in it. I take my time for me, even if it's just 5 minutes. And then I get them out the door and then I work out because like that is my number one non-negotiable. Like I will be a better mom and wife and a better entrepreneur if I take care of myself first. You have to. And so like for mentally, self-development, reading, I do that at night instead of watching TV. I work 24/7, so it's like finding those little pockets even if it is
Mm,
2 minutes or 5 minutes, right? Just do one thing
mm.
for yourself a day and just see the habit stacking from that.
I love that. I think there was like this one book called The Habit Tracker, or it was, oh no, Atomic Habits, that I got
I just
that.
got done reading.
Yeah.
Yes, like literally just got done.
Yeah, because when you're saying like habit stacking, that's a tool that I got that I'm like, okay, for me to remember, and I feel you on the coffee. I use this like collagen plus adaptogens like powder that I put into my coffee, because I know sometimes I skip vitamins and I skip things all the time. So I'm like, okay, I know I need my coffee in the morning. So why don't I make my coffee more, robust, and add the nutrients that I need. So I think that's one of and I'm glad that you read it, because I would recommend it to all moms, just to see like transitioning from one baby to two, or just like transitioning from 0 to 1. It's just a very stark difference in your life.
Yeah.
You need these habits to make you feel sane, like you feel like you have your life in order, because having a baby, or just having children in general, you're those cute little munchkins, they don't have a schedule built into them. They're not going to know what's on your Google Calendar. So yeah, having some sort of routine is really, really great.
Yeah. In the salon, like I work on a time structured management. So everything is timed out to the minute. I'm really efficient. So when I had my kids, I was like, what? Like I completely
Mm,
lost like all control of the schedule, because you just don't know if they're actually going to nap, or if they're really tired, or if they're hungry. And then
yeah.
they go through a growth spurt and then they throw you off. And then, so like you need a little sense of control in a way, but then it
Hmm.
also helped me like chill out a little bit, so it was like a
Yeah.
blessing in disguise that I didn't see in in the moment. But the habit is like everything. I highly recommend the Atomic Habits. I thought it
Hmm.
was so many good takeaways,
I know.
whatever stage you are, like really, like new mom, mom with teens, like, or just starting a new career, like
For
you
sure.
go through all those new stages. Like, who am I now? You're very different from when you had your babies to when your kids are 5, let alone
Hmm.
10, 15, So
For
it's a good
sure.
check in.
I know. So you just mentioned your business. So how do you balance motherhood and running a business? It's a lot. Just how do you navigate it all?
So I always like to say harmony instead of balance, because
Mm,
I think balance, something is always like gonna give, you know? And so if I can make it all flow and harmony together, I feel better about it. So I get up earlier, I stay up later. I really maximize my time. And I think that just like staying organized, then you do find those pockets of like where you can work, but then being fully present with them and being there. And like just
mm,
really knowing what they need. Do you need me physically there? Do need words, like what's their love language? What's really going to
right.
resonate with them? And now we live in an area and time where like you can get groceries delivered, or you can pick them up at
Yeah.
least. I order pick up all the time, or I have subscriptions, just stuck to like, again, make it a little bit easier on us so that we
Hmm.
can spend the quality time with them, but also not feel guilty for doing what we love and working too.
I know. That's what I struggle with a lot. It's just like the mom guilt of it all. Um, Feeling like every little, like I will take like like I recently I just went to the library just to work outside the house, because I have the kids with me, and I felt guilty. I was like, oh my goodness, like I'm actually, like, this is the time that I could be doing X, Y, and Z while at home. And then I'm here working on my business. So I felt kind of, I just felt like overwhelmingly guilty.
Yeah,
And it's hard. It's
it is.
hard dealing with that.
I think if you say like, what can I do today for
Hmm.
me, for the business, and then what can I do today with them? I also find do not disturb highly
Oh, I know.
effective. I mean, my do not disturb is on until like 9:30 in the morning. because I really want to work. And I think we get so easily distracted by our emails and our text
Mhm.
messages. We're so accessible. Our mom chats, I love them, but like
Yeah.
75 text messages later, and I have clients calling to make appointments. Like it's a lot. So I have
Mhm.
learned the do not disturb at night so you can get good sleep, which is huge, huge, which we
Mhm.
don't ever, I think, sleep again once you have children, but those
Yeah.
pockets are a little bit better.
I
And
know.
then just honestly give yourself some grace. Like
Mm.
you're doing the best that you can. We're doing more than we have ever done as moms with the
Exactly.
home, with work, with the kids, and the kids are overscheduled and they're in all the things. Like if you go through your phone and you close out all the tabs and you just sit there for a second and be like, is that my brain? My brain has 65 tabs? Like, no.
I know. I literally feel you on that because I'm just like, I'm thinking about summer camp currently because I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, so I feel like maybe men or fathers, like they don't think too far, but I always am like thinking light speed ahead. Like, not only do the kids have dentist appointments, but I know like dance recital, she has camp, she has like, and it's like, and then add multiple kids to the business. So it's just like so crazy. Then you have your business, then you have like your hobbies, like as a
Yeah.
like
Your friends.
so your friends, your family, like everything that you deal with. So is like Stephanie, I have a question
Yeah.
that I just thought of right now actually. Do you have hobbies? Like one of the things that now I'm struggling with is finding a hobby other than my family and my business where it's just something that I love to do. I created this podcast because I love doing media, but I'm thinking more like a hobby that is not income generating or like content creation or anything like that, like something more so fun. So
Yeah.
what is something that's fun that you do?
So I love to walk outside. I think
Mm,
being grounded in nature and being around trees and flowers and the sun and fresh air is like the best thing. So if you could walk, if you could hike, like we're
yeah.
supposed to be in nature. We're supposed to be
Mm-hmm.
outside.
To
I come up with
stress.
my best ideas
Mm-hmm.
and my motivation. So like walking is something that I truly enjoy and I love. And then grabbing a friend or my sister or
Oh,
whoever, we go to a different park and we walk. I love that. I'm finally finding time to read again. So I just got Mel Robbins' Let Them theory book.
I literally just watched. Are we? I feel like we're a lot. I literally just watched our podcast yesterday about Let Them.
Yes.
Love. I can we sit and like because I literally have been incorporating that into my work as a doula, as just like even on this podcast, like talking to moms of like so many walks of life that a theme that I've been hearing is like they feel guilty about X, Y, and Z. They feel guilt because, I don't let, like, or like somebody will judge me because I don't let my kids watch TV. And then Mel Robbins did this great theory of just like this practice of just let them talk smack. Let them think whatever about you. Let them, like, for example, Stephanie, when you were starting this business, there was probably other salon owners that were just like, or some people who worked at a salon, like, why is she really, you know, does she really want to do this? Like, just judging you for the fact that you wanted to be an entrepreneur. So that let them theory is just so freeing. Like, okay, yeah, you could think whatever you want, but I'm here, you know?
Yeah. It definitely, she had a one episode that really stuck with me. And it wasn't only like let them, right? But
Mm-hmm.
then let me
Me,
be me.
yeah.
And when you're creating a product and you put it out, I mean, I'm talking about creating the product, making the product, shipping it out there, doing all the thing, all your blood, sweat, and tears, all your guilt from being
Mm-hmm.
away from your family, starting the business from the ground up, doing all of that. Like, you
Right.
can take it very personal if people don't like it, or if people are
Mm-hmm.
like, I can't believe you created it, or who do you think you are? Like, you're not qualified, you're not this, you're not that. And you have to block that out. And so, like, as raising my daughter, when I tell her, let people think what they want, That's a them problem. They're projecting on you. But it wasn't teaching her, like,
Hmm.
just saying, like, oh, let it go, let them be whoever they are is not enough. You have to
Right.
teach them and ourselves, like, let me be me, because that's when
Hmm.
you take your power back. The second you care about what they are saying about you in any way, shape, or form, as a mom, as an entrepreneur, as a wife, as whatever it may be, then you give them that power because you're worrying about it and you're caring. But if you say, let do that, I'm going to go be me and I'm going to go do what I want to do, like that is huge.
It
And
is.
so that is a must read for all females,
Oh my
I think,
gosh.
to teach
Yeah.
our daughters, for everybody. Like it is, because in a world where people are hiding behind their computers and their keyboards and they're typing
Hmm.
mean stuff, like
I know.
letting it go and ignoring it, but like how? And Mel teaches you how to do that. And
I
nobody
love
else is
that.
teaching that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm really getting to know Mel Robbins because I've kind of like seen her podcast a little bit, but now that I hear her backstory of like just like starting over at 40,
Hmm.
I'm turning 35 this year, and I feel like sometimes I'm just like, oh, like I should have done X, Y, and Z when I was in my 20s. Like I should have started this business idea. I should have started everything before I had kids. And the fact that she just hit rock bottom and was depressed and was just not herself. And to see her being the motivational speaker, to being the successful business woman, and like, I think New York
Hmm.
Times bestseller are like, it's just so inspiring to see that this isn't, because as new moms, you kind of just feel like you're stuck, and talking to you, like when we first had our first conversation, you really helped me, like I'm like, okay, there is like, you will get it at the end, like when your kids are a little bit older and you feel like this life is no like you're this life is more attainable and more manageable. I feel like I'm going to get it. So, as
Yeah.
somebody who's a little bit further ahead than some new moms that are listening, what's some advice, like some good season advice that you could give us on just looking ahead and feeling more grounded in motherhood and in your passions?
So I love this. Gary Vee said something that caught my attention. He's like, the way that we're projecting, those
Yeah.
will be living like to 100, right? So he's like, if you're at 40, you have more than half of your life still ahead of you. Even at
Wow.
50, you still have all of that time. Like you're never late. You're always on time. And
Hmm.
that really, like as somebody who's 41, like excites me because I
Hmm.
have so much more ahead. And then really like seeing what other women, successful women at 45, at 56, start companies. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
you're in the season of raising your kids, be in the season of raising your kids and love it.
Yeah.
And then when you have that extra time, go discover yourself. You are not the same person that you are at 25 as you are at 35 or 40. So
True.
like, be excited about that, And then really what I hear from a lot of people, a lot of my clients, like your prime is your 50s and 60s because you really have like got into your career, settled a little bit. You have a little more time, like financially, you're a little more stable than you were when you were in your 20s. And yes, you could look back and say, I should have hustled and grinded in my 20s. But then, like, you weren't living in your 20s. And those who hustle and grinded regret. And now they're in their 50s trying to relive their 20s.
I know. It's a bit embarrassing. We've all seen
Yeah. So,
you all seen the
like,
old man trying to be,
yes.
trying his best to relive his 20s.
Yeah. I think back to what you were saying
Hmm.
about you thinking about summer camp and you're thinking about this or you're thinking about that. My
Hmm.
advice would be because yes, those fathers or those men are not over analyzing and thinking. They're like just thinking about what they're gonna have for lunch. Like, and it
Hmm.
really just kind of stops there a little, and not in a bad way, but in a freeing of the mind type of way.
Yeah,
And so I'm like, why don't we just take this one day at a time? Like, that's it.
it's
One
true.
day. One day at a time and just give yourself that. So then we
Mm.
don't overwhelm ourselves with the to-do lists and the things and the camps and all the things. Like,
Yeah.
I think we should just really one day at a time.
Hmm.
I mean, always learn and like
For
read
sure.
and grow and network. I would say
Hmm.
that's the other big thing. I love like helping other women,
Hmm.
especially in the entrepreneur space, but in general, other moms, like, oh, you should use this. Oh, have you seen this? Oh, let me send you this, right? Like,
Hmm.
we should lean on each other more and
100%.
not judge each other. You know, I was watching something today that was like, are you a scrunchy mom? Are you a crunchy mom? Are you a
Like,
this mom? And I was like,
I've heard. Are you a silky mom? I've heard all.
yeah. I was like, a silk? I was like, girl, I am a mom just trying to survive. What about that? Like, why do we have to judge each other? Who
It's.
cares if you went and shopped at Whole Foods and I went to Trader Joe's?
Hmm.
Who
My
cares?
our kids are eating.
Yeah.
Our kids are fed and they're happy.
Yes.
So
And like, why would it make somebody feel less than because they couldn't afford or didn't have the resources?
I know.
Like, let's stop doing that. That really, like, that was this morning, and
Mm.
I was like, don't say anything, don't say anything. Oh, I'm gonna say something, but I was like, it's
Oh my
I just
gosh.
why can't we just celebrate us? Like,
I
and be
know.
on the same side. Like, that's
Yeah.
it.
I
That's
know.
what I want. Like,
I
that's what I
know.
really want.
On TikTok, you'll find a lot of moms who are just like, making you feel guilty for just all these things about like, okay, you can't obviously, and you're trying your best. Like, yes, red dye
Yeah.
is bad, and you shouldn't give them processed foods. But if they're hungry and you're passing by a Chick-fil-A, like, are you going to starve them until you get home, or just get
Right.
the Chick-fil-A?
Right.
Like there
Yeah.
could be there's like having this like perfect curated life that some folks are portraying online. It's a fallacy. It's a complete fallacy. It's not true. It could be just for views, could be for monetary reasons. But yeah, I just want to peel the layers off of what being a good mom means. And it's just really showing up for your kids. Waking
Mhm.
up, making that
Mhm.
breakfast, like asking them what their love language is. Like I love that. Like, or not asking, well, you're in the space of you could ask them, but you like for me, having toddlers, like trying to figure out what their love language is. Like, I thought that
Yeah.
was such a great thing that you said because I just like had to like note it down. Because I was like, what? Like, moms even think about like, okay, like this is what I know. For example, my youngest is a physical touch. She needs to be around you. And you get overly sensitized and like stimulated at one
Yeah.
point, when they're all around you. But that's her love language, and I can't like fault her for that because she feels comfort being next to me. My oldest, she is definitely a quality time. She's like, "Mommy, can you sit with me? I want to be with you. Can we play together?" She's definitely a quality time
Mhm.
girl. So, what have you found in your kids that is like their love language, and how did you incorporate it to their like
Yeah,
routine and
and
their
it might
schedule?
change. It might change as they get older, right? Like their
Mhm.
needs and their wants are going to be different. But
Right.
that was the biggest thing that I needed to focus on because I was working. I was do work full time behind the chair, and then I run
Mhm.
Naprim. And yes, I'm married, and I have the two of them that keep us
Mhm.
very busy. And so I was
Right.
like, I need to make sure, like, it's translating to them, like I'm spending the quality time, or I'm doing the physical touch, or I'm saying the words of affirmation, or
Mm.
the gift giving, like meeting
Oh.
them where they are at. Because otherwise, if I think I'm going to sit there and watch a show with them and
Mhm.
I think I'm spending time with them, but that's not what they needed. And they're not
Mm.
always old enough or like even know what to say they do need, right?
Mm.
And so sometimes actions are speaking louder than words. And so really observing what they needed. My daughter is a physical touch, rub my back,
Mhm.
rub
Oh.
24/7, like needs that, right? And then my son is, I would say, acts of service
Mm.
and playing basketball with him and football and baseball
Yeah.
and like I wait on him a little bit, hand and foot more than I should. We're trying to work on that. But like, he's not my baby.
Stephanie,
But
where are you from? What's your ethnicity?
Cleveland,
No, like
Ohio.
what's your ethnicity? Like what's your background?
I'm Italian
Yeah, I
and
could tell.
Slovenian.
I
Yeah.
could tell. I could tell that you're Italian. I was like, it is. I feel like Italians and Africans, we have like that core to us that if I was a boy mom, I feel like I would do the same thing. That we kind of, baby our boys a little
Mhm.
bit more. I'm kind of shouting out my mom here because definitely I only had a brother and he was the prince of the house, could do no wrong.
Yeah.
Acts of service.
Yeah.
Till today, his love language is acts of service.
I know, but then I'm like, okay, you need to be self-sufficient for your future partner. Like, I'm
Yeah,
ruining it. So I got to back off. Go get yourself something to drink.
it's totally fine. If that is like one of the things, I know like for us, we always worry about like what are some of the generational like bad habits that we're bringing in from our culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, for us, I don't know if you were spanked as a kid, but for me, yes, I was spanked and I don't do that. I definitely subscribe to the whole gentle parenting or like a mix of gentle parenting and like, making sure that they know like what the rules are and what the routine is by being firm. I feel like not letting them get away with everything, but also being like, a comfort for my kids. So what
Yeah.
are some like things that you like from your like past generations that you don't want to bring into into
I mean, like, I would say, like, I was never spanked. And so
mm-hmm,
I didn't feel the need for that. I actually
mm-hmm,
wish I had I'm going to look at you once in a way that right? Whereas, like, that's what my dad would look at us and we would be like,
mm-hmm.
he doesn't have to say anything. I do that and they're like, and I'm like, what on you? Like, what are we rules? Like,
The talking back. Whew.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually wish like
Mm-hmm,
there was a little bit more there, but then like, I don't ever want to say because we're the adults, you're a
mm-hmm.
child, I'm the
Yeah.
parent. Like, I don't want to say that.
Yeah.
Like everybody should be respectful,
For
whether
sure.
you're a kid or an adult. Like, I don't need to power over you. So that's
Yeah.
something that I'm not doing. Like, I don't need to. You can
Mm-hmm.
calmly talk to them and get down to their level.
I
And
know.
honestly, create that safe space is huge because a lot of
Mm-hmm,
them are a little bit more sensitive in their nervous
mm-hmm,
systems, my
mm-hmm.
son. And so we navigate him differently than her, although I'm harder on her because I have higher expectations, maybe because she's my first and she's a girl. Trying not to do that, like,
The first girl syndrome is like the biggest thing. The first daughter, it's
yeah,
now a studied like subject in
I'm sure.
mental health. Yeah. And I'm the first girl. I'm the first generation American. It is so like there was so much riding on me and I feel like now I'm trying to like to figure out why am I the way that I am because of
Yeah.
my, of my upbringing.
Yeah. Yes. Your words are very powerful.
It is for sure. Yeah, and another thing that I read, or it could have been a TikTok. These days you never know. I just say I read it because I can sound smarter. That the words that you say to your kids constantly, like, is their words in their head. It's going to be the voice in their head,
Hmm.
essentially. So the
Yeah.
words that you say to your child becomes the voice in their head. So they think they can't at a certain point they can't differentiate like if this is if this is them or if this is something that was said to me. So
Yeah.
I am very cautious now that I'm like, even my husband, like, there's sometimes that I will say, like, wake up in the morning and say, my hair looks so crazy, or I look horrible today, and things like that. And I'm noticing my girl looking at me, and one time she looked at herself and said, my hair looks crazy, and it looked beautiful. And I was like, what am I like,
Mm-hmm.
the things that I'm saying is now turning into the voice in her head. Oh,
100%. 100%. Yeah. And
scared me.
oh, it takes a long time as an adult
Yeah.
to realize that what you were brought up on is all you know. No fault to
Mm-hmm.
you. It's just the way that you were brought up, with whether it was your environment or the words, how people were
Yeah.
talking to you, the tone. So that is one thing that I never say in front of my dog. I never comment on
Mm,
my
looks.
looks, my
Yeah.
body, my nothing. Like, I'm
Mm-hmm.
so hyper aware of that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and I am kind of like a motivator and a positive, like, I was a competitive cheerleader for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like a bit of a hype girl. So I am always like, you got this, you can do this. So like, I hope they look back and be like, gosh, my mom was like so like motivational. Like I
Mm-hmm.
just am. At sports, at activity, you got this, you could do this, like get out of your own head, but like specific of, come on, you got it. I'm more like visualize this, do that, like really teaching them, not just saying things that are going to be beneficial for them in the long run. Like teaching
Mm-hmm.
them good habits, good study habits, but explaining like to set you up for success in high school and college when I'm not there, like this is why. I know you don't like it, but we're doing it for good reason. Stuff like
Yeah.
that. So really watch your words. And
Yeah.
it's hard. Sometimes we get frustrated. Sometimes we're tired. Like it happens. But the best thing that you could do is correct it in the moment and just
For
not
sure.
repeat it, you
For
know?
sure. I know. It is. It is something that you need to work on a little bit and just like be mindful of the things that are coming out. And it's you may not think it's like directed to them, but even
Right.
if it's directed to them yourself, they see you as the be all, the great, like they see you as a super person. This is the person that they admire the most. When you were like, "Oh, I don't know if they'll thank me." I was an angry teenager, and I feel like now that I have kids, I'm profusely apologizing to my mom about all the things. I'm like, I'm sorry I put you through anything. And I feel like at that, maybe it's not like it's a delayed gratification for us, that later on when they do have fulfilling lives and they're well, stable adults and they're doing great things, that they will look back and be like, my mom was a cheerleader. Like
Mm-hmm.
she opened all doors for me. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Beyonce has this one song called Protector that makes me cry all the time on her new album. And it's like, even, and she says this, I'm gonna try not to cry because I don't know why that always like gets me, that line, but even though you're going to shine on your own, I will be your projector. Like, that you're pouring in so much love into your kids,
Mm-hmm.
but they're going to see one day that you were their projector. You
Mm-hmm.
enlightened them and made them the people that they are today. And yeah, and it just gives me like goosebumps that I'm gonna be like, you know, adults with my kids one day, and then we're gonna talk
Yeah.
about this stuff. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
always say they don't know what they don't know. And so I
yeah,
don't fault them for not knowing, because you can't wrap your head around it. Now
no,
that we're
not at all.
older, we can wrap our head around what we were like as teenagers and stepping into adults, and gosh, oh my God, I can't believe I did that and said that.
Yeah.
And, they'll do the same, but they don't know what they don't know. So I don't
Mm-mm.
fault them for it. And so like, I feel good about being in that space.
Okay. Well, we're gonna
Yeah.
shift our
Yes.
conversation because I feel like now we're gonna talk. We were getting a little too heavy, but no, but we're good. I really wanted to just enhance and amplify your products because they are such like, it is a science that is just not
Hmm.
talked about more, and we're getting a lot of people are getting into the eco-friendly and plant-based skincare more. You see beef tallow creams being amplified and promoted on TikTok. So let's break down the science a little bit of why plant-based skincare does so well compared to chemical heavy products. If you could speak a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it is definitely science, and it's not something that we're used to seeing
Mm-hmm.
as far as in powders. But 70% of consumers are demanding cleaner and greener products. Like the wall is kind of like being pushed over in a sense. Like I just feel like people are like, these harsh chemicals are making my skin worse. These steroids are bleaching my skin. They're causing more irritation than they're actually helping, or they're just coating the top of the surface of my skin, but not actually repairing the skin barrier. So when I went to powders versus lotions or creams or ointments, it's because everything was irritating my daughter's skin. So when I was developing the dusting powder, my daughter had a horrible bout of eczema. And we went and did the lotions, the Avenos, the Aquaphor, the CeraVe, you name it. And then we went to the steroids, and then it bleached your skin and burned your skin. And then you're rubbing it around in the surface of the area of your skin, affecting other parts of your skin, right? That doesn't have the irritation. So you're just making that worse. And so I looked at plants that would soothe all of her symptoms, the redness, the inflammation, the irritation, but actually repair her skin barrier. All these products that are on the shelves that we just named and that we talked about that we buy and we think that they're going to work are filled with perfume, okay, which causes so
Preservatives.
much,
Right.
preservatives. And then we're putting it on our skin, which is the largest organ in our body.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have the parabens and you have all this stuff that we're ingesting, and it's not good. Now the research is coming out. If you cut all these toxic products, you'll prevent breast cancer by this percentage. If you cut these toxic products, you're going to, like, so many things. So if we're so worried about our food and being over processed, we should really be worrying about the skincare and the hair products that we're using that are being over processed. So
For
plants
sure.
in a powdered form are a highly concentrated formula. So like the science of it is the size of the micro in the powder is a lot smaller and the molecules than in lotions and creams. They're just a lot bigger. And so they absorb into the skin. Where lotions, creams sit on the surface, powders just immediately melt into the skin. So they get to working right away. So when you're dealing with somebody who has eczema, who's constantly itching or constantly burning, or you have irritation, you want to bring relief to that immediately. And that's what those powders do. Versus burn when you apply or cause more irritation to the surrounding skin. And they're soothing and calming. And that gives like a mental effect of calm. Because the number one thing too is stress. So like if you're in fight or flight mode, or you're stressed because you have a breakout or acne showing, or your eczema is showing, or psoriasis, or it's itching, or it's keeping you up at night, it's going to flare even more. And so Naprim is not only about like clean products, but we're also about like the full big picture in the solution. Because what happens is I think a lot of people get in this vicious cycle of like using a product, it didn't work, trying something else and it didn't work. And they just keep going back to square one. We're like, check your irritants, check your air quality, check your laundry detergent, what food that might be inflammatory, like stuff like that. And use conjunction with our products. It's just like a lot of educating and it's a lot of science. And people and brands are not talking about it because they're just selling you 15 million things on the shelves. And then you wonder why they're not working.
I know. It is just a marketing ploy. It really is.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. And then it's like one influencer to the next influencer, like, you're seeing beef tallow, but is beef tallow actually working? But do we have the time to do the research? Or are we going to buy from the brand that actually did the research? Like we did clinical trials. We did clinical testing. We did dermatologist testing. We used clean ingredients that are hypoallergenic. Like we did all of that because we wanted full transparency. What you see is what you
Love
get.
it.
And when you're deciding on a product to choose, you can look at Naprim and be like, oh, I know what they're about. Like they're on my side. This product is not on my side. This product just wants to fill their pockets.
For sure. I mean,
And
it's just about access also, right? Because it's easier to grab a cream or a skincare product while you're getting something for, for your baby, like diapers or something like that. So it just, the fact that we need to really, it's just a collective shift, a mindset shift that we need to do to mindfully seek out products that actually work for us. Because with just just with a Google search, we could find your products, but we just don't do that, and we're not conditioned to do that. So I think we just need to tell moms, like just like advocacy, just really
Yeah.
tell moms and just say, hey, like research and really like one of the things that I couldn't breastfeed, for example, this is like a little bit of a longer story, but I couldn't breastfeed and it was really hard for me in the beginning. But when I found and I didn't want to formula feed because I was just so like I fantasized about breastfeeding and just like even breastfeeding until 2 and all of these things. So, but when I was researching and it wasn't at that time, it wasn't on the aisles. I found Bobby and I think I found another. I think it was called By Heart. And I love when I did the research and it was made by a mom and she did every single thing, did the clinical testing, the you made sure that there was a factory in like Ohio. Actually, I think their factory is in Ohio to make sure that she knows every single thing that's going into that formula and it could be trusted. That's, I feel like, one of the things that maybe we need to do as mothers, to buy from things that are backed by a real mom. Like she wasn't a like VC fund, a hedge fund owner, anything. Like she was just like a normal mom that had a 9 to 5 and decided to create this product and now it's on shelves. So if yeah, I encourage everyone, like really encourage your friends, encourage folks to really research every single product that is going into your cabinet because it is detrimental. Really, like it shook me to the core when you're like, changing a little bit about your routine or changing your routine to plant-based products can reduce your percentage of having cancer. Like I got scared when you told me that because I'm just like, how many things that I'm putting in my body that is causing cancer?
So it's like we don't see it until it's become so big, and then the damage is done.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about ovarian cancer. Johnson and Johnson had their baby powder, which had talc in it, and in the talc had traces of asbestos in it, which was causing cancer. Until they got sued and they got caught. Okay. Now we're looking at all of the toxic chemicals in our skincare and our makeup. Let's just start there. Absorbing into our skin. And now we're linking it to breast cancer, to our hormones. Okay. It's hard enough to get our hormones together. And then you go
Mm-hmm.
through perimenopause and menopause or having babies and all this stuff. Now we're adding more stuff to mess with our hormones. And then you look at deodorant and using aluminum and that causing breast cancer. There's just so much junk out there. And yes, I know we are busy. We're overwhelmed working moms. Like it's one more step, but like
Yeah.
that's why we keep it simple. Turn over the bottle and you see minimal ingredients. So if we're already doing that with our food, where we talked about like the red dyes and all the stuff that
Mm-hmm.
they're putting in our food, and we're definitely turning over, there's apps out there now where you can literally scan the product,
Mm-hmm.
tell you what's harmful and what's not. Get the app. If if you don't want to do the research or you don't have time to do the research, then there's other things out there to help you. But we have built our brand on word of mouth. I think women, when we find something that we love, we
Mm-hmm.
tell everybody about it.
For sure.
And I really like tried to ride that wave with our brand because like, oh my God, have you used this product? I used it for this. Oh my God, I love this product from Naprim. Like, and I love hearing that because it's real moms talking about real problems and I'm giving them a real solution
Mm-hmm.
without all the fluff. And so, yes, we are like waking up to it, but we still have a long way to go.
So much.
And I'm here for the big fight. So I
I'm
know
with
I'm a
you.
small brand, but I
I'm
hope
with you.
to stand up against the big guys and just say there's room for us too. And
Mm-hmm.
people are going to actually prefer us over you.
Mm-hmm. And our purchasing power is huge
Yeah.
as mothers. So yeah, definitely, we don't think that you're a small fry in a big pond. Definitely, you are. You are. Yeah, if you decide to boycott or not use a product, the brands will definitely shift their focus and make
Yeah.
sure that it's normal for us. So yeah,
But it
for
just
sure.
goes back to like caring about your customer. Like I created the dusting powder because we didn't have anything for women. And I was like, oh, no, 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 no. We're not
We got
doing
to do
this.
this.
This is
Yeah.
not, no, this is not okay. And then with my daughter with her eczema, I'm like, why don't we have safer products out there for kids
Mm-hmm.
that's natural? And then same with the dry shampoo. Why are we not using dry shampoo that blends into dark hair but treats dry, irritated scalp? Why are we not helping moms save time? But like using products that are like good for their scalp and for their hair that they could get behind and feel good about.
I
Like,
know.
what are we doing? So that's like my drive for women. Like,
I
you
love that.
know, so, I mean, I think that when more people learn about Naprim and more people are on board with using powders because they are sustainable, their carbon footprint is smaller, the ingredients are natural and simple and effective, like
Mhm.
we're changing the game for
Of
sure.
course.
It will
For
take a
sure.
little bit, but I'm here for the long haul
Let's
because
go.
entrepreneurship is the long game.
It is. It is. It is. It is a legacy that you're building.
Yeah.
So it's a legacy that I'm proud to say that I'm a customer and will support you for the long haul.
Thank you.
So we're going to do a quick fire questions for you. So what is your favorite Naprim product for kids?
I would have to say the nourishing powder because
Oh, okay.
if they have baby acne, if they have a rash, if they have a
Mm-hmm.
skin irritation, if they do have a dry patch or eczema, it's just a more concentrated formula specifically for all of that.
Okay.
And so that's my go-to. I mean, kids get like sunburn and they get rashes from like bathing suits in the summer and
Yeah.
they just come up with random stuff on their bodies, right? Like they
Mm-hmm.
break out or they have bug bites.
Mm-hmm.
All of that, because of the natural plant-based ingredients, have antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial properties. They have antihistamine properties. So again, that all goes with any redness, irritation, and inflammation. And then the marshmallow root and the colloidal oat actually hydrate the skin. So it's
Yeah.
nourishing at the same time. It's not going to dry it out. So
No,
that's
at
my
all.
go-to. Yeah.
Yeah, that is so, yeah, that's amazing. I'm telling you, I'm in awe that your products just completely blend into the skin. Like that is
Yes.
just absolutely amazing. But yes, I would say that too because just I see the difference a tiny bit between the dusting powder
Yeah.
that it does have a bit of like a little tack to them that I feel
Yeah.
like the dusting powder didn't have. But yeah, that's amazing. So I'm excited to use this on my baby. What is your favorite mom hack?
I mean, I think it would go back to my do not disturb. So I can
Major.
be a present mom.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, my mom hack, like for my kids are just like mom life surviving.
Yeah, for sure. I think mom life let's say mom life for your kids. Like something that's a hack that you found that like in terms of raising kids, preparing kids.
Why? I don't know.
For me, I think one
Yeah,
of the
what's
hacks that
yours?
I found is making sure I was struggling with the socks. I mean, this is so simple, but I was struggling with like finding socks for everyone. And a mom hack that I found is just like as soon as your socks are off, put them in your shoe. And that helps me a little bit. Like that is like a new mom hack that I found because now my kids are walking
Yeah.
and I'm just just can't keep up with all the things, all the little tiny things that they have. So and then learning another mom hack is making cleanup fun. So I feel like I'm gonna keep going until the wheels fall off. But apparently, like I was struggling. Mostly, my oldest is 3 years old. I was struggling for her to like put toys away, but now I make it into a fun thing. Like I give her a little like sticker. So like these are like little mom hacks that could help. So you don't have to like clean again because the playroom just gets horrible after a while. So yeah, that
Yeah.
I would say that would be my mom hack.
So now that I had a minute to think about it,
Mm-hmm.
my mom hack is letting them be in the driver's seat. So I'm like,
Mm.
would you like to put your shoes away first or clean up your room or like do
Ooh, I
this or
like the
do that? So
questions.
like, yes, like putting it on them, but not
Mm-hmm.
saying you have to go do this right now or no, I phrase it differently. My mom hack is
Okay.
literally putting it in their hands, and they get to decide. So then they feel like they're in control. I think the big push and pull of moms and kids, and whether it's like a power struggle or whatever it is, like I let them feel like they're in control. You get to decide. It's
Yeah,
this or that. You pick. Like,
for sure.
whether you make it fun, which I'm totally on board for, absolutely, but having them decide is
Yeah.
huge. And then I would say laying their clothes out the night before, getting everything ready the night before so
I
it's
need to
not
do that.
chaos, bringing their toothbrushes down so they can brush their teeth in the downstairs bathroom, like
Mm.
anything to alleviate that friction in the morning before leaving school. And then it is always, bye, I love you, have the best day.
And then you sigh. You're like, oh.
And then I'm like, okay.
My other work has started. So
Yeah.
yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That's
Yeah.
that's noted. I will take that too because I know I need to lay her clothes out.
Yeah.
My oldest
But let
goes
her
to
pick it.
yeah.
Let her pick
She
it.
has a uniform, so I feel like it's easier, but the little one doesn't have a uniform. So yes,
Yeah.
I will try to like let them pick it, let them like be a little bit more independent. So that's a good mom
Yeah.
hack.
Yeah. For sure.
Another one is comfort food, Stephanie, because we know this is the season for anytime it's cold, I need some comfort food. So what is comfort food that never fails you?
Are you ready?
Yeah.
A soft pretzel.
I hope it's not a Cleveland thing because I feel like that's a Columbus thing. I see that everywhere.
I mean, I'm talking like the big, thick, soft
Know what you're
soft
talking
pretzel
about.
with cheese. Like
With
it's
the
just
big chunks of salt on it.
yeah.
Like, yes.
Yes.
Yes. I
That is
love
like
it.
my go-to. I'm fine and happy with just that.
Is there a place, like a local spot that you always go to?
There's a place local to us that literally it's like as big as like a cookie sheet. So the whole family can share it, and they give you like multiple different like options for like dippings, which I love too. So yeah, it's amazing. It's
I
amazing.
love it. I love it. Have you
Yeah.
tried the sweet version of it? Like where you dip it? It's kind of like they made it into a churro. I don't know. Maybe I'm telling you, Ohio, since I moved here, I've been having every single, like I gained at least 20 pounds just by eating so much.
Because it's
But
cold.
it's cold. And then there's always like, apparently Columbus is the food testing
Yeah.
like city. So like everything comes here. So there was a pretzel that I was in love with that was like a churro kind of that had like salt, cinnamon, and then there was like the cinnamon glaze that you would dip into. And I was just like, I wouldn't ever suspect like that would work, but that was like awesome. So I
Yeah,
love
it's so good. Columbus
yeah.
is where it's at with the food. Cleveland is like coming around for sure with our options of food, but Columbus definitely has some good ones.
Yeah, you guys
Yeah.
got it on like good date spots because I feel like I'm running out of date spots here. Cleveland, we actually traveled 2 hours to Cleveland for a date night because we were like we want to go to somewhere fancy.
Did you go to Marble Room?
I think so. Yeah, it was like the one that looked like a bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. We went to Marble Room.
It's
It's so
good.
beautiful.
It's so good. It's so beautiful. You have to go at Christmas
Yeah.
time. It's like
Oh, okay.
decorated and they play like violin and they walk around. Like it's amazing. It's very romantic.
Okay. So noted.
Yes.
All right. And then
Yeah.
what is one goal you're manifesting this year?
So it's funny because like sometimes I'll talk about business and like stuff that I'm super excited about. And then it doesn't really like pan out or happen. So then this year I was like, I'm not talking about anything. I'm not saying anything like out loud to other people because but like, I mean, I manifest a lot. A lot. So there's this opportunity that I'm involved with right now that I could have a feature in Forbes, which would open so many doors.
Okay.
And a
We're manifesting that.
Yeah.
You will get it.
Yes.
You will
and
get
then it comes along with a one-on-one mentoring from one of the sharks from Shark Tank. So yeah. Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I forgot the lady's name, but I hope it's that.
Oh, Lori?
Oh yeah, not Lori, not the one that's QVC, the other one. There was one that the short hair.
Short hair.
Yeah.
Barbara.
Barbara is like I follow her on TikTok. She's cool. She's
Yeah.
very, very
She
like,
is. She
yeah,
is.
she's really cool.
Yeah.
But that's good. That's really a
It's
good
not
manifestation.
it's not a female. However, I think the connection, and I love that they have guest sharks on there too. Jamie
Okay.
Kern Lima is one of my favorites. Sarah Blakely's been on it. I love
Mm,
her. Like, I just think it will open a lot of doors, you know?
mm, it will be.
So we'll find out in a couple months, but we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So we're wrapping up, but before you go, I wanted to see a little bit about what is next for Naprim. You kind of teased us with the Forbes, but is there any more products? What is like what's next for you or Naprim?
So there's definitely products to come. That's the
Mm-hmm.
exciting creative part of me. I love formulating
Mm-hmm.
and I love looking for what we call the white space where there's a
Mm-hmm.
huge need. So expanding the line, expanding manufacturing, and just really continuing to capitalize and spread the word and
Mm.
have it be a household name, really. Like that's
Yeah.
my goal. Yeah.
Amazing. So
Yeah.
thank you so much for being here and sharing your story. Before you go, I know I keep asking you these like questions to like they're not scary. They're but not scary. But what is one advice you would give to moms who want to embrace the natural skincare? So I'll say this one more time. So what's one piece of advice you'd give to moms who want to embrace natural care?
One product at a time. I think it's overwhelming and intimidating to literally replace everything and expensive, everything
Mm-hmm.
in your house. So going back to Harmony, like whether it's your deodorant, something easy, a cleanser, your body wash that you're using. Again, think of your largest organ in your body, your skin, a product that you use on your kids, like one thing, and then do the next thing. And then
Mm-hmm.
maybe focus on your hair or your laundry detergent or your dishwashing soap or your cleaners. Like it can be so overwhelming, but I'm telling you, one product at a time. And there are great brands out there that are non-toxic and
Mm-hmm.
actually good for you and actually work. So yeah, one product at a
Amazing.
time.
I love
Yeah.
that because us moms will be like, we're like, we'll put all of our skincare in the trash and be like, okay, come, I'm doing a new haul. I'm gonna start new, but it's these atomic habits, these little
Hmm.
tiny changes that you can make. So yeah, so for sure. So
Yeah.
that was beautifully said. And where can they find you?
Yeah. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at Naprim Naturals and Facebook as well and Pinterest. So
Yeah.
yeah.
And don't forget to visit naprimnaturals.com and buy for as Stephanie said, the nourishing powder is her fave for children, which is really great. And then the dusting powder is amazing for just everyday use. And
Yeah.
then from my personal favorite is the refreshing dry shampoo. I've been using this and I just feel like I feel less guilty for, because dry shampoo has so much
Yeah.
chemicals into it. It is also on an aerosol can, which feels like you're just like breathing in all those toxins. So having this in my arsenal has been really great for like very easy mornings where I just put this on and I brush my hair and I can go. And as Stephanie said, it is great for dark hair and it is also, in my opinion, women of color approved because everything is just melting greatly to our skin and hair. So thank you so much. Please grab your natural essentials.
Yeah.
But yes, thank you so much, Stephanie. I mean, it was such an enlightening conversation. Thank you for sharing your story, all your mom hacks, every single thing that you said today has been such a value to us. So yeah, I just wanted to give you your flowers and say you're doing an amazing job as a mom and as a businesswoman and as just like your local therapist because as a salon being at the salon, I know
Seriously.
you I know you hear everything and everything because all the secrets that you're keeping. So thank you
Yeah.
for your for your service.
And thank you so much. This has been so fun. And I love networking and speaking with other moms and entrepreneurs and just rooting each other on, I think is
Yeah.
just like what we're here to do. So I'm grateful and super blessed for today.
Well, thank you so much, Stephanie. I'm blessed to have you as well. So I'm Faisa. I'm signing off. Until next time, remember, mamas, you are doing amazing, even on your messiest days. So thank you and stay tuned for the next episode.